everyone. My name is Jacob. Today, we're going to talk about plural nouns in English. We will talk about how to make and spell plural nouns, and then we're going to talk about how to pronounce plural nouns. Okay, firstly, let's review spelling plural nouns. So, in English, there are two ways to make a noun plural. The first is add letter S. Number two is to add letters ES. So, how do you know when to add S and when to add ES? Well, first, usually with nouns, to make them plural, we add S. This is with most nouns. We usually do this. Here are some examples with cat, banana, and school. To make these words plural, we add S. So cat becomes cats. Banana becomes bananas. School becomes schools. With some words, words that end in letters S, X, Z, O, CH, and SH, we add ES to the end of the word. Here are some examples. Number one is bus. You see, it ends in letter S. So, to make it plural, we add ES. So, the singular is bus. The plural is buses. Now, the other examples. Number two is box. It has X. 3, quiz. It has Z. Number 4, it's watch with CH. And number 5 is brush with SH. So, all the plurals have ES. So, box becomes boxes. Quiz becomes quizzes. Watch becomes watches. And brush becomes brushes. So, to make a noun plural, there are two ways. Add S and add ES. Okay, now we'll study about pronunciation of plural nouns. Okay, now let's talk about the pronunciation of plural nouns in English. First, the letter S. Here, there are two ways of pronouncing the letter S at the end of nouns. Number one, the pronunciation is S. It is S. Some examples are here. This word is cats. S makes the sound S. Cats. Okay? Number two, the pronunciation of S is the sound Z. Okay? Like this. Z. The example is here. The word is plays. Plays. Can you hear S makes the sound Z. Listen to the difference. Cats. Plays. See, S makes a different sound in the words. Next, the pronunciation of ES. ES has 3 pronunciations. Okay? Number 1 is S. S. For example, this is satellites. Satellites. ES makes the sound S. Number 2 is the sound Z. For example, the word phones. Phones. ES makes the sound Z. Listen to the difference. Satellites. Phones. Can you hear the difference? Great. The third pronunciation is. Is. The example is the word watches. Watches. So, listen again to the 3 pronunciations of ES. Number 1, S, satellites. Number 2, Z, phones. 3, is, watches. Okay, those are the ways of pronouncing S and ES in English. Now, let's do a pronunciation test. Okay, everyone, now we're going to do the test about pronunciation. There are 100 questions on the test. Now, I want you to look at the words and circle the word where S and ES makes a different sound. Okay? After you finished, I'm going to tell you the answers on the board. Okay, everyone, did you finish? Okay, great. Now, let's see the answers. First, it's question 1. In question 1, there are 4 words. There are A, B, C, and D. Now, listen to the pronunciation. A is proofs. B, books. C, it's points. And D is days. So, which word has the different pronunciation? A, B, C, or D? In number 1, the answer is D. D is different. So, why is it different? Because here, the S has the sound Z. But here, here, and here, S has the sound S. Listen to the difference. Books. Proofs. Points. And here, different. Days. Days. See, it makes the sound Z. So, we will circle letter D. Okay, next. Number 2. A, it's helps. B, laughs. C, it's cooks. And D, finds. Which one is different? Again, the answer is D. Circle D. Okay, because in the word finds, S makes the sound Z. So here, D is Z. But in helps, laughs, and cooks, the sound is S. S. So listen again. Helps, laughs, cooks, finds, finds. Different. Okay, number 3. A is neighbors. B, friends. And C, it's relatives. And D is photographs. So the different word is D, photographs. Circle D. Because photographs, the S makes the sound S. But in A, B, and C, S makes the sound Z. So listen again. Can you hear the difference? A, neighbors. B, friends. C, relatives. And D, photographs. D is different. Okay, question number 4 now. A is snacks. B, follows. C, titles. And D, writers. Which is different? Question 4, the answer is A. A is different. Because in this word, S makes the sound S. So here, like this. But B, C, and D, S makes the sound Z. So, like this. Snacks. Follows. Titles. And writers. Different sound from S. Okay, let's do number 5. A is streets. B, phones. C, books. And D, makes. The different sound word is letter B. Let's circle B. Here. Because in B, ES makes the sound Z. Phones. Phones. But A, C, and D, S and ES make the sound S. So listen again. Streets. Phones. Books. And makes. Okay? B is different. Alright, now it's time for question 6. A is cities. B is satellites. C, series. And D, workers. In question 6, the different pronunciation is letter B, satellites. Because in this question, ES makes the sound S. But in A, C, and D, ES and S make the sound Z. So listen again. Cities. Satellites. Series. And workers. Okay, next one is number 7. A, develops. B, takes. C, laughs. D, volumes. The different one is D, volumes. In this word, ES makes the sound Z. But in B, A, and C, S and ES make the sound S. So here, develops, takes, laughs, and volumes. The pronunciation is different in D. Time for number 8. In number 8, there's A, phones. B, streets. C, books. And D, makes. Which word is different? The answer is A, phones. Okay? In phones, ES makes the sound Z. But in B, C, and D, S and ES make the sound S. Like this. Phones, streets, books, makes. Okay, 2 more questions. Let's do number 9. A is proofs. B is regions. C, lifts. And D, rocks. In question 9, the different pronunciation word is B. Regions. Because in B, S makes the sound Z. But in A and C and D, it makes the sound S. Like this. Proofs, lifts, rocks. And B, the S is Z, regions. Okay, finally, it's question 10. Question 10, A is involves, B, believes, C, is suggests, and D is steals. The different word is C. Okay, because in C, S makes the sound S. Like this. S, suggests. A, B, and D, S and ES make the sound Z. So listen one more time. A, involves. B, believes. D, steals. And C, suggests. Okay, now that is the end of questions 1 to 10. Now we're going to take the answers for questions 11 to 20. All right, let's start questions 11 to 20. So, which sound has the different pronunciation? Okay, let's look at question 11. The 4 words are A, remembers, B, cooks, C, walls, and D, pyramids. So in number 11, the different one is B, cooks. Okay, because in this one, it has a different sound, which is S. So we'll circle B. Okay, in A, C, and D, S makes the sound Z. Like this. Remembers, walls, pyramids, and here, different, cooks. Okay, next it's number 12. A is miles, B, words, C, accidents, and D, names. In 12, the different pronunciation is C, accidents. Okay, in accidents, S makes the sound S, but A, B, and D, S and ES make the sound Z. So, like this. Miles, words, names. Here, it's accidents. Okay, next is number 13. A is sports. B is plays. C, shores. And D, mines. In 13, the word with the different sound is A, sports. So circle A. Because in sports, S makes the sound S, but in B, C, and D, S and ES make the sounds Z. Like this. Sports. Plays. Shores. Mines. Next question is 14. The words are letter A, nations, B, speakers, C, languages, and D, winds. The word with different pronunciation in question 14 is C. So circle C. Because in C, letters ES, they make the sound is. Like this. Is. Language is. But in A, B, and D, it makes a different sound. It's the sound S. Like this. Nations. Speakers. Winds. Okay? Time for question 15. 15. A is proofs. B is looks. C is lens. And D is stops. Question 15. The answer for the different sound is C. Lens. Because in this word, letter S makes the sound Z. But in A, B, and D, S makes the sound S. Listen to the difference. Lens. Lens. Proofs. Looks. Stops. Now we'll do questions 16 to 20. Okay, 16. The words are A, dates, B, bags, C, photographs, and D, speaks. In this question, the different sound word is B, bags. In bags, letter S makes the sound Z. But in A, C, and D, S and ES make the sound S. Dates. Photographs. Speaks. And B different. Bags. Different pronunciation. Right, question 17 now. Which word is different? The words are A, parents, B, brothers, C, weekends, and D, feelings. The different word is A, parents. Because in A, S makes the sound S. But in B, C, and D, S makes the sound Z. Listen again. A, parents. B, brothers. C, weekends. And D, feelings. Time for question 18. A is chores. B, dishes. C, houses. And D, coaches. The word which is different is A, chores. In A, ES makes the sound Z. But in B, C, and D, ES makes the sound is. So here it's chores, dishes, houses, and coaches. Chores, chores. Question 19 now. The words are A, works, B, shops, C, shifts, and D, plays. Question 19, the answer is D. D is different because D, letter S makes the sound Z. But in A, B, and C, S makes the sound S. Works, shops, shifts, and here a different one, it's plays, plays. Okay, last question is 20. A is coughs, B sings, C stops, and D sleeps. In question 20, the word that has a different pronunciation is B, sings. In B, letter S makes the sound Z. But in A, C, and D, S makes the sound S. So listen one more time. A, coughs, stops, sleeps, and finally, sings. Can you hear the different sound? Alright, now that is the end of questions 11 to 20. Now we will continue and finish with questions 21 to 30. Alright, now I'm going to tell you the answers for questions 21 to 30. Let's start. Firstly, question 21. The words are A, signs, B, profits, C, becomes, and D, survives. In question 21, the different word is B, profits. So circle B, because in this word, letter S makes the sound S. Profits. But in A, C, and D, S and ES make the sound Z, like this. Signs, becomes, survives. Next, question 22. The words are A, walks, B, steps, C, shuts, and D, plays. In question 22, the different word is D, plays, because letter S makes the sound Z. But in A, B, and C, S makes the sound S. Walks, steps, shuts. Here, a different one. Plays. Alright? Now, continue with 23. 23, A is wishes, B, practices, C, introduces, and D, leaves. D is the different pronunciation word. ES in leaves makes the sound Z, leaves. But in A, B, and C, ES makes the sound is. Wish is, practice is, introduce is, and leaves. Next, question 24. A is grasses, B, stretches, C, comprises, and D, potatoes. The different word is, again, D, potatoes. ES makes the sound Z. But in A, B, and C, ES makes the sound is. Grass is. Stretch is. Comprise is. And potatoes. Next, question 25. A, desks, B, maps, C, plants, and D, chairs. The different word in 25 is D, chairs. Again, D. Because S in chairs makes the sound Z. But in A, B, and C, S makes the sound S. Desks, maps, plants, chairs. Okay, continue with question 26. A is pens, B, books, C, phones, D, tables. Do you know the answer? The answer is B, books. Because in books, S makes the sound S. But in A, C, and D, S and ES make the sound Z, like this. Pens, phones, tables. Here, different one, books. The next question is 27. In 27, the words are A, dips, B, deserts, C, books, and D, camels. In this one, the different word is D, camels. Okay, because letter S makes the sound Z, camels. But in A, B, and C, S makes the sound S. Dips, deserts, books. But here, Z, camels. That's a different sound. Now we will do question 28. A is miles, B, attends, C, drifts, and D, glows. 28, the different sound word is C, drifts. So let's circle letter C. Because letter C, it has the sound S. But A, B, and D have the sound Z, like miles, attends, glows. But A is drifts. And two more questions. Number 29. A is mends, B, develops, C, values, and D, equals. In 29, the different sound word is B, develops, because the letter S makes the sound S, develops. Can you hear the S? A, C, and D have Z. Mends, values, equals. Different one. And the last question is 30, number 30. Okay. A, the word is repeats. B, it's classmates. C, amuses. And D, attacks. The different word is C, amuses, because ES makes the sound is. Amuses, is. But A, B, and D, S and ES make the sound S, like this. Repeats, classmates, attacks. And here, amuse is. Alright, that is the end of questions 21 to 30. We are finished the test. So now you can understand that S and ES have three different pronunciations. S, Z, and is. Thank you all for listening and have a great day. Goodbye.